Stream now, Walter.
Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Aqualive live streaming expo, if I can call it that. My name is Werner and I've got Willie here next to me, my co-host for today. Welcome Willie.
Werner, thanks a lot and welcome all the way from Cape Town. Thanks for joining us. Werner flew up yesterday to come and join us all the way from Cape Town. So Werner, thanks a lot for coming up, thanks for joining us, and the floor is now yours for now.
Thank you so much. I hope I've got a lot of Cape Townian viewers on that side. Saying that welcome to the YouTubers and welcome to the Facebookers and anyone watching on a different platform. I think we've got YouTube and Facebook in any case. So every week we do a different kind of application where you can use Aquadam's water tanks. And this week we are doing a very exciting application called mining tanks. What does that imply, Willie? Any kind of water storage that you use on a mine. In South Africa, in the world, everywhere in the world on mines, you need water and you need to be able to capture water. So we basically just want to bring over some of the information and just explain to the viewers how to implement and how the application actually works.
Yeah, but basically, like we've said before, this is a basic education session.
Yes.
And not just to ramble and rave about our products and our tanks, but this is to teach and to give more information and to give back to the community.
Giving back is very important to us. We like sharing our knowledge. But I think let's go. Let's get into it.
Are you ready for this?
I'm super ready. I'm super keen.
All the guys on Facebook and YouTube, here we go. Please enjoy it.
Thank you. Okay, so like I said, the application for today is mining water tanks. On the right with the picture there you can see some beautiful tanks that is used for such an application. So we've got a few questions that we're going to base the presentation off, just to bring over the information a bit easier. So the first one is, what is mining water tanks? Water holding tanks for the mining industry. And that is exactly, that's what it comes down to. It's any hold, well, like I said a few minutes ago, if you want to hold water or you need to have water in the background, you need a tank on any kind of mine.
Yeah, but like you said, it's quite easy and simple to say the mining industry, but the entire mine industry is such a broad spectrum.
For sure.
Where you can actually store water for different applications on the mine. So mining application is not that everybody thinks it's mining. There's so much more.
Yeah.
And what we have prepared today, we will elaborate a little bit more to give you the viewers a bit of more knowledge on where we can assist and what we can do for the mining operations in South Africa as well as all over the world.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the big applications of mining water tanks is potable water. Because what is potable water? Potable water is water that is safe for human consumption. And come on, let's be honest. I mean, a mine is full of humans, and the guys, they need to be able to drink, they need to be able to refreshen or get the energy back, and for that reason, you need a potable water tank.
Yeah, as well as we go along, potable water is, like you said, it is water that is drinkable and safe for human consumption, but there's lots of stuff that needs to happen if you use mining water to get it to a potable stage. But that is not what we are going to talk about today. But potable water is a very important part of any mining operation, yes.
Yeah. Well, and the human existence, actually.
That's correct, yeah.
Dust suppression. So this is actually very interesting. I read up about dust suppression, and it's actually so environmentally friendly by applying dust suppression. So the bigger a mine gets, the more roads they've got and the more ground they actually uplift, and all of that procedures actually creates dust.
Yes,
and the process of dust suppression is by spraying water on the ground that's able to cause dust. And well, you would know, I mean, a gravel road with water on, if you look in your mirror, well, a dry gravel road normally, if you look in your mirror, you see those massive clouds of dust. Yes. But if the road is wet, you see nothing. And one of the benefits is that the entire mining industry is saving millions of rands on lubrications for their vehicles, because what happens is the dust actually gets everywhere into the vehicles. I'm talking about your personal vehicles on a mine, or your trucks and your digger loaders. All of that stuff, they work with bearings and they work with lubrications, gels or grease. That's what I mean. And you actually save. You save a lot of money by implementing dust suppression.
That's correct, yes.
So now we've got a PCD, which is a pollution control dam, which is also very big in the mining water tanks. Can you tell us a bit more about the PCD tanks?
Yeah, Vanna, so the pollution control dams, they're usually a big open earth dam, usually lined with a HDPE liner, where the mine operation, let's call it the operations water from underground, which is not clean and not potable water at all, gets pumped into the pollution control dam, and from there on there are usually various types of ways to actually treat the water or to get, let's call it, rid of the water inside the PCD dam, to use it on the mine for different applications on the mine, not just for mining application water, but for different applications on the mine. So as we go along with this presentation, we will explain a bit more on the ways and means that I've just said. Dust suppression is one, the pollution control dams, and how the mines usually take the pollution control dam and use the water, or let's say get rid of the water in quite strange ways.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And saying all of this, at the end of the day, it comes down to having tanks on site, having water reservoirs on site to be able to have backup water for your pollution control and your dust suppression. So it all equals to, yes, I need water reservoirs on site, especially by mines. Holding tanks for evaporation. So evaporation, Willie actually explained it to me this morning as well. A lot of times you get accumulated water on site or inside of the mine, which is called pit water, but we'll get to that a bit later. And when they have excess water, help me if I'm wrong, but if they have excess water, they actually evaporate the water and spray it into the air to get rid of the extra water?
That is exactly what it is, how the evaporation works. So if let's say they have a 2 milliliter earth dam lined with HDPE, and that dam is full, and you're still doing operations underground, what do you do with the water? You're not allowed as a mine to dump it. That is an environmental issue, because that water is not clean in the PCD dam. So with that being said, you have to get rid of the excess water, or if you have if your dam is full and you are getting more water, what do? You cannot have it overfull. That's an environmental issue. So what some other very clever company did, I don't know where, it's massive turbines that looks like your fan in your house, but it's on a massive scale, as you will see on the picture on the bottom right, where they actually take the water they pump the water from the PCD dam into a holding tank,
where Aquadam comes in play,
where they can actually regulate the amount of water that's being sprayed into the air. So that water goes into that massive wind turbine, and it then blasts a massive, as you can see on the bottom, it's a massive amount of water that gets sprayed, and there's usually a couple of them around the PCD dam. So that water gets sprayed back into the PCD dam, but most of that water evaporates into the air. Amazing. And then should there be fines or whatever other kind of chemicals, will then go back into the PCD dam to be controlled again, and then that is how they actually use the evaporation system.
Awesome. But it's very important to know that they can't always evaporate immediately, so you need a holding tank where Aquadam comes in play and places the tank on site.
Correct, yes.
So we have a holding tank for production. So that being anything in production, whether you need water for washing down vehicles, water washing down pathways in your mine for safety. It's just generally a holding tank for potable water, for any production water at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it's underground production, above ground production. If you have an open cast mine, or if you are a shaft mine going underground. I was at a mine the other day that was 1.6 kilometers below national ground level. So to get that water on top, and remember, all mining operation can exist without water.
Oh, for sure.
When a mine usually gets established, that is one of the first, licenses that needs to be applied for with the mining rights and mining licenses is a water license.
Amazing.
So water is one of, and water, usually the water is put up first in terms of tanks, when it's holding tanks or whatever, before the guys start establishing the entire mining operation.
Yeah.
Because water is needed to do everything on site before you can even start to mine.
Well, water is actually so important. And then lastly, what is mining water tanks? We have processed water. So processed water, according to me, is, I find it very, very similar to production water. Processed water to me is general water that you have for processes every day to day, washing down and for safety.
Yes, yeah. So if you, let's say you have a coal mine, that the coal that comes underground, it's massive rocks, it gets crushed smaller, and then you need water to actually wash it down before it goes to the next process. And that is where the processed water comes in. So any process, if it's called coal, any kind of mining operation needs that water to process their materials.
It's crazy. Show me any industry that doesn't need this amount of water. Water is literally everywhere.
Well, Ben, I can tell you that the most mines in South Africa that we work a lot with, they use millions of liters of water per day. Not per month, per day.
Yeah, that's shocking, eh? Okay, so on to the next one. When do you need a mining water tank? And this is a very important question because a lot of guys, they're not 100% sure. Do I need one? When do I need it? Do I do it in the beginning of the production? Do I do it at the end? Well, let's go through this one. So rehabilitation phase is actually at the end of a mine, of the lifetime of a mine. But I put it first because it's extremely important. So without offending any of the miners out there that's watching this, mining isn't the most environmentally friendly thing in the world, but it's always the rehabilitation comes in place to rectify whatever was taken out of the ground, you put back. So on the picture you'll see that on the left and the right hand side is obviously the after photo. To be able to grow all of that, you need water. You need, a lot of these mines are not too close to a river, but even the mines that's close to a river, they're not always allowed to take water out of the river because the river is for the farmers, for the agriculture down the line. But to be able to rehabilitate a site like that, you need a lot of water, especially in the beginning.
That's correct, yeah. So like Vanna said, the rehabilitation phase comes at the very end. So before the mining operation starts, they usually take photos like the ones that Vanna's got here. Yeah. The one on the right would have been the before, just a little bit not so green.
Yes.
So basically a mine is a piece of land, a farm or whatever. Yeah. So they take aerial photos and whatever those photos look like, and then they get a mining lifetime, 10, 15, 20 years or 50 years. And after that 50 years, the mine must give that piece of land back as how they got it. Yeah. And water is again they needed to grow the lawn, grow the trees, and get everything back to where it used to be.
Yeah. But this agreement actually has to be in place before anything starts.
Correct, yes.
So when do I need a tank for this stuff? At the very beginning already. Because like you said earlier, I mean, your water needs to be in place before you start anything.
Yeah, so if you have a holding tank,
yes,
before you start the mining operation, then you have your tank to take you through the lifetime of the mine, and even at rehabilitation stage, you also then still have the tank. And what most of the mines does, they then give it back to the farmer, or to the land, or to the whoever gets the farm back or buys the farm back. They usually give them that tank or the reservoir as a sign of thank you very much, so that we could have mined the commodities out of the ground.
And I've got a lot of respect for that. I mean, it's amazing for everything that they agree upon at the beginning, and they know what's going to happen, but they know how to close it up and how it needs to look at the end. And I love that. I think that's a great agreement. So when do you need a mining water tank? When you have increased production, when you feel that, gee whiz, I'm getting bigger now. So that's, even if you have a tank and you think maybe I need a new tank now, a new holding tank or new reservoir to hold any kind of water. Now's the time. As soon as you start increasing your production, you know that you're going to start using more water. You're going to start, the need for water is going to be there, even greater. So the time is actually now.
Yeah, so basically if your capacity is currently, I'm just throwing figures here,
Yes.
if you do 10 tons of coal a day,
Yeah.
then you know as a mining manager, all the engineers know you need this amount of water for your entire operation. And then all of a sudden you hit a massive rock, or then you can all of a sudden do 20, 30 tons a day.
Yeah.
You need to increase your water storage capacity.
For sure.
Otherwise you will not be able to produce more
Yeah.
with the same amount of water. So then you have to increase your water storage capacity.
And as the old saying goes, I mean, rather safe than sorry.
Yes.
Get it done. Don't regret not doing it when you had to do it. And then once again, dust suppression comes up. I mean, we spoke about it a few minutes ago, and that is where, and it goes actually with your increased production. When you increase production, your footprint is going to be bigger. You're going to have more gravel roads. You're going to have more uplifting of the earth. Then you have to implement dust suppression. So as soon as you find the need for dust suppression, you need to put down a mining tank.
Yeah. So if you go to let's say a mine that crushes, let's say for instance gold or whatever, there's always dust. So
For sure.
wherever the trucks and vehicles enter the mine, especially the bigger vehicles that load the coal, for instance,
Yes.
when they come out of the mine, there's always dust blowing off of the truck, and then it's all over the road. And that is also a safety hazard for people not on the mine only, but as well as the communities around, because now
Yes.
that coal actually goes back into the air. It goes down, the truck goes, it goes back into the air, it goes down. So when it comes to dust suppression, it's water over everything, and your dust actually settles on the ground. And I must say, most of the mines in South Africa that we have worked with, I would say about 90-95% of the mine, they are practicing safe dust suppression.
But I think it's part of legislation. I mean, it's in the law that they have to do it.
I think so, yeah.
And then environmental control, guys. This is so important. It also goes with the rehabilitation phase that you wanna put back whatever you took out. And a lot of the times, mining water is not the cleanest of water. It's dirty. So you sometimes have that dirty water running into your closest rivers or into the, I wouldn't say municipal water, but perhaps. So you need a holding tank. A mining water tank for capturing that water and then getting rid of that water on a safer, more environmentally friendly methods.
Yes, you can then actually take as Vanna call it, let's call it the dirty water,
Yeah.
store it in our tank, depending on the pHs and whatever's in there,
Yes.
and chemicals. And then from there, it can be treated to a point for either just irrigation
Yes.
or for potable. It depends on what treatment phases they have after the storage of the dirty water to get it to a certain point of clean water.
Yes.
So the cleaner you want it, the more stages and phases they are in. But to use it just for irrigation, that is you have to get the water quality to a certain point to use it for a certain application,
Yes.
as for irrigation or for potable. So yes, environmental control, that is also more or less the same as what the PCD dams are.
Yes.
They put the dirty water in there, and then from there on they either process it or treat it or evaporate it.
Yeah. And also under the environmental control, it's not always the dirty water. Even your cleanest water needs to be controlled because it can cause erosion. And erosion is a big problem, especially where there's loads of water. I mean, you don't want a massive erosion damage 2 or 3 kilometers down the line.
Correct.
Okay, on to the next one. Why is it important to have a mining water tank? This is actually so important. Let's get going. Safety. So any industry, safety is always first. You have to look after your people, your workers. I've got a little PPP, you know. I mean, it's your PP, your people, your people and your product. You wanna keep pollution down. you want to protect your property. So
Increase production.
production, you want to increase your production, exactly. So it's so important to have the correct and think smart about it, but have the correct water mining water tanks to be able to protect and implement safety in your working environment.
As well as safety, mines are all about safety.
Yeah.
Safety is always first. There's a zero tolerance on any shortcut. So
Yeah.
why keep your people safe, have your machinery safe, but play around with the water, gamble with your water?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then protection, very, very the same, but I see protection as a preventative method. You want to prevent things. You want to prevent hazards of happening, of something a catastrophe that you want to prevent. And again, I mean, it's just planning ahead from the very beginning. Protect what you know you're going to do. Implement the correct water. Be water wise. Be water savvy. That's what I'm calling it. And by doing that, you automatically protect whatever you are going to be producing, or whatever you're gonna whatever you have on site.
Correct, yes.
And then pit water. I quickly mentioned pit water a few slides ago, and this is very important. When they start mining, obviously a lot of the mines have they dig a big hole, and that's where they get the minerals out. So what happens when it rains? All the water accumulates in one spot. That's one of the methods of getting an accumulated amount of water, and that is called pit water. The other one that you can get is if they mine and they hit a water pocket or a water line underground water line. That very quickly becomes a water pit or pit water. And then what they do is they put on a tank, and it's very easy. They suck the water out and keeps it into a holding tank.
Correct, yes. So that is also where we're going to assist. But when you basically get two main mines. You get the open cast, that is where you will get the accumulative water inside the pit, and then you get your shaft mines. Now, shaft mines is not usually, you don't need that, but sometimes when you do hit water underground, you need to evacuate that water and people ASAP.
Very quickly, yes. And all the infrastructure must be in place already.
Yes, you are not allowed to just dump that water yet again. That comes back to an environmental issue. So you have to have storage available when the guys actually mine site, but should something happen, they need to have holding tanks in place to get either the PCD dam or one of our holding tanks to get that water out of the pit or out of the shaft as soon as possible, for the safety for the people as well as the products below underground.
Yes, definitely protecting all of that. All right. So where do you need a mining water tank? So a lot of people will think, well, wherever mine is, but it goes a bit deeper than that. No pun intended. But so any existing mining operation. So if you know that, look, I'm busy with operations. I'm busy with. I'm starting a mine. Well, I've got a mine. You know you need water, and that's where you're going to put the water down at the end of the day. Where you need it is basically it. Any new mining, as we've said a few times already, at the very beginning, before you start a new mining project, before the guys come and start digging down, you need these tanks. You need to be able to put them down.
Yes, you have to have a water license on a mine before you can start any operation, even putting a shovel into the ground or even taking the first piece of gold out of the ground. You have to have water on site. That is so law.
Almost sounds like the water is more important than the gold.
Basically, it is. Actually, it is.
It is, eh? Without the water, you're not allowed to get you won't be able to get to the gold.
You can live without gold, but you cannot live without water.
That's very true. Well, some people would differ to that.
I believe most ladies will.
Oh, they love gold. At any mining operation. So whenever you find yourself in the mining industry, where you are delving for something, when you take a mineral out, you need to have some sort of water structure in place.
Yeah, but if you just think plain simple logically, if you take a normal rock, if it's worth nothing, if you dig with a little spade and you take that little rock out of the ground, what is it covered with? Okay. Soil.
Oh yeah, soil. Yes.
And you need to wash it off to see the clarity.
Yes.
Of, even in the ocean, if
Yes.
you take a pebble with your hand, there's soil all around it,
Yes.
sea sand all around it.
Yes.
Then you put your hand back into the ocean
Into the water,
to take off all the little soils, and
Yeah.
there you have a nice clean pebble.
Yeah.
It's the exact same
Impossible
method.
without water, yeah.
Impossible.
Okay, who needs a mining water tank? So this is also very important because you get people that are appointed, they're in charge of the water, they're in charge of getting the licenses. So let's go into that. Shaft sinkers. So these are the guys that they're there from day zero, from day one. The very first guy that you're going to actually pay to do something towards your mine is the shaft sinkers.
Yeah, if it is a mine that gets shot.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. And, well, obviously, so let's say, why do they need a water tank? Well, they're going to be taking out ground from the earth. That soil needs to be able to either washed away or however they get to where they're going to start the shaft, that needs to be cleaned. And water gets implemented all over these kinds of applications. Mining engineers. This is very, very, very important. If you're an engineer and you're in the mining industry, you specialize in mining, and you know that you're busy with with starting up a mine, like we said earlier, this applies to you. This is actually this entire presentation, this learning session is for you specifically, because you need to be able to be proactive in your industry and get the water infrastructure ready and ready to go.
Yes, correct.
And then once again, it comes up, rehabilitation companies. This is for you guys as well. You know who you are and you know what kind of water you guys use. And I'm not talking for everyone, but getting the water licenses is not always the easiest thing. There's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of planning that goes into it. So this is for you. I mean, be proactive and get the water on site as soon as possible. And then lastly, mining and project manager. A lot of the times the project manager, he's in charge of, well, obviously, as it says, running the project on the mines, but he's in charge of getting the correct mining water on site and making sure that everything, so much comes down to the project manager. He's in charge of the protection of everyone. He's in charge of the safety of everyone. It's actually crazy the amount of responsibility on the project manager. And as Aquadam, we are here ready for you to contact us and say, listen here, but this is how I'd like to implement it. And we're here to help. I mean, we love to help project managers.
Yeah, these are basically the four main players where it comes to the starting and the ending of any mining operation. So the shaft sinkers, the engineers, the project managers, they are the guys on the ground. So they are the guys that must actually, they will then appoint a company or an external engineer company to start investigating the entire process and to do the feasibility studies, the pre-feasibility. So we have been involved with many companies with pre-feasibility stages. Then after comes the feasibility stages, then comes the costing stages, then comes the tender stages. So we have been involved in giving information and assisting a lot of companies and engineers throughout our lifespan of almost 30 years.
Yes.
So we are ready and we can help you. We know what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Please talk to us. So this is actually exactly it. How can Aquadam assist you with your mining water tanks?
Wanneer, this is it.
Exactly.
Please show us.
So in which way? I mean, it starts with an idea. Someone starts an idea and says, listen, I want to invest, I want to produce a mine, or I want to start a mine. And then they get people to start working for them. And then the question comes up, oh, geez, we need water. We need something to hold water. Who are we going to contact? You get onto the internet, you heard about Aquadam, you give us a call. And then you're going to ask us, but in which way can you help us implementing a water tank on site?
Yes.
So we have two options, really. We have, first of all, the extreme tank. This is one of our, well, it's probably our flagship, but the tank that is the most asked for and sought after.
And loved tank in the industry,
For sure. That is not even He's not joking. He's super proud of our extreme tank. So it's a zinc aluminum tank, a corrugated steel panel tank. Yes.
I just want to stop it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a corrugated tank, but it's not a normal roof sheet corrugated tank that you buy from your local hardware store. It's a normal corrugated sheet. We are actually the only company in the world. I'm going to repeat, the only company in the world who's getting our flat sheets, and the corrugation is our profile. It is our trademark profile. So we do corrugate our own tanks, which is the strongest profile of any tank anywhere you can find. And if anybody would like to differ or would vary from me, please give me a call or email me. We can sit down and we can discuss this.
Definitely, I agree with you. I'd love to sit in on that call as well to hear what is being said. So the extreme tank, Willie, can actually be used for almost, not all, but almost all water necessities on a mine. Like I said, not everything, but when you need to hold water, especially potable water, then the answer for you is the extreme tank.
Yeah, the extreme tank, like you said, is equipped with a PVC liner.
Yes.
Now we standard use our 720 micron portable liner, which is a certified potable water liner.
Yes, it is certified.
Please, if somebody tells you we can give you a 1,000 gram liner, that's perfect, beautiful for you. But we can give you the proof that our liner is tested and it's approved for potable water. We can also assist with other applications beside water, depending on what the pH, the SG, the temperatures are. If you give us all of that information, if we cannot store your water or your product in the extreme tank with the PVC liner, Werner will tell us what we can use then thereafter.
Yes, definitely. I showed the pictures a bit late now. I forgot to go over to the pictures, but there you can see three pictures of different tanks, and that's the gist of it. That's what our extreme tank looks like.
Beautiful, is it not?
It's extremely beautiful, but photos don't do it justice.
No, it does not.
I love being this close to our tanks. So you just feel like, oh, man, it's amazing. Our tanks are beautiful. So what Willie just said is there's some applications that, some needs that you need something different, which the extreme tank cannot cater for, and that is called our Rhino tank. So I'm going to show the photos a bit quicker this time so that you can look at them.
Yes, please do. So when it comes to the Rhino tank, where it comes to the extreme tank, there's a liner. So for most applications that can work in the mining sector. The Rhino tank is perfect when we go to quite variable pHs from 2 to 11, what the Rhino tank can actually hold. As well as in the extreme tank, because you got a liner, the mine cannot aerate or agitate inside because there's a liner on the inside. With the Rhino tank, there's no liner.
Nothing.
It's a epoxy fusion bonded tank, which can handle most pHs, most products.
Up to 12, pH of 12.
2 to 11 basically.
11, yes. So it actually gets, the fusion bonded epoxy gets applied at a degrees of 260 to 270 degrees Celsius.
Correct.
So that is actually the reason it's so strong. And then Aquadam actually came now, and we made it even more strong. We started using Posmac sheets, which is it's so strong. It's rust resistant, it's scratch resistant. We actually just took our Rhino tank and we boosted it. It's extremely tank. And one of the applications, as you just mentioned, which is very important on mines, is a lot of the water or the fluids, the pH is quite high or quite low.
Because it's the mines.
It's the mines, exactly. And there might be metal in the water because, well, that's what they're delving for. And the Rhino tank is the answer in an application like that. The Rhino tank can handle it. It's extremely, extremely tough tank.
It is. Yeah. So like you just said, you also can agitate and aerate inside these tanks. We've actually done a couple of aeration and agitation tanks. These tanks can also, just to go off the subject, they can also be used for biogas plants. So it's renewable energy again. So the uses of the Rhino tank, not only on the mining application or mining sector, there's actually other sectors as well where it can be, or where it actually does work.
Yes, we actually did a webinar, Aqua Live streaming like this, specifically on the Rhino Tank and on the Extreme. So what I want you guys, the listeners, the watchers, I want you to go onto YouTube and just type in Aquadam Rhino Tank and Aquadam Smart Tank Extreme, and you'll be able to see the entire, I think it's about 40-45 minutes. We delve into all the quality and how you can use the specific tanks. I really go and watch it, and it's quite informing.
It is. So, like when I said, on these products, as well as all of our products, go and follow our YouTube page.
Yes.
And you can view all the tanks, all our products.
Yes,
that we
everything we have to offer.
Yes.
So exactly, this is our contact details. Whenever you need information, we've got brilliant brochures. So even if you're thinking, if you're just in the planning phase at the moment, give us a call. Ask us, listen, can I just for now have the brochure? We'll send it through. We love sending brochures. We did quite a lot of work in our brochures, and they look amazing. So we'd love you to look through the brochure and actually see what it is about, what's Aquadam about, and what is our tanks about. I think you'll love it. So please give us a call on 086 100 1010. That's our number here at the office, and one of our sales consultants will be more than happy to assist. Yes. Send us an email, sales@aquadam.co.za. Any question, absolutely any question, any time of the day, Mondays to Sundays, just pop us a question there. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then go visit our website. There's a lot of information of all our tanks on www.aquadam.co.za. And then we have some social media platforms, which constantly gets updated with new material of our products.
Our platforms are Aquadam Steel Tanks International. That'll be Facebook. Go and search for it on Facebook. Like our page, follow us. You will get a lot of information.
Yes.
And you can also ask us questions. You can interact on Facebook with us if you have any questions. If you don't have time for email, if you're always on the go, pop us a message on Facebook. Follow our page on YouTube, like us on YouTube. Our LinkedIn page as well, like us there, follow us there.
That'll be fantastic.
Yes.
I think that's it.
There's one more to go.
Oh yeah, of course, our logo. And like I said at the beginning, that we do this every week, every Thursday at 3 o'clock, Willie. We really like sharing our knowledge. We like to inform the guys on what it is we're doing and how we are trying to implement our industry for the better.
Well, you are correct. So this is an informative session, and if there's any application, what you can think of where you can actually store water or where you need water, we will be, I believe, throughout the following weeks, we will be handling most of them. But if there's anything that anybody can think of, give us a challenge.
Yeah,
and
please.
And give us a mail, give us a call. Challenge us in the if you have a type or different application where you need water, where we have been struggling before, please contact us and give us that challenge. Let's see if we can assist you.
Fantastic, definitely. And then just lastly, next week's application is holiday resorts.
As well as potable water.
And potable water.
So just before the December feeling hits, then we can then tell you guys all about the holiday and potable.
Yes, I think if you're an owner of a holiday resort or you're planning on investing on something like that, I think especially it's for that kind of person that wants to implement a holiday resort. Or existing holiday resort.
That is also quite an interesting application and a very good application to handle. So from me, Willie,
and me, Werner, we thank you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we're waiting for your questions. We can't wait to chat to you guys and answer the questions you might have.
Yes. So next week we will have, like I said last week, and we gave kudos to Cindy. Cindy, if you're still watching, not with us anymore, thanks for watching. I know you can't stand not listening,
tuning in
to get more information. And then next week you guys will meet Monica.
Yes.
She is our new sales consultant that is actually in Cindy's place. So she is new, brand new, but just about
brand spanking new.
Brand spanking new. So she will be up next week to give you some information on a not so technical application, but very important application.
For sure. And Charlotte's going to be with her. and he's gonna help her through it.
Man, safe flight back tomorrow. Thanks for
Thank you
coming.
so much.
Thanks a lot. And everybody on Facebook, everybody's watching, thank you. Keep well.